Oh, hey, good evening. Sven here from Common Sense Survival, and just started doing a few videos here again lately. It's been a while. A couple weeks back, a young lady, a friend of mine, had texted me about knife sharpening and asked me if I would do a video on knife sharpening and what I suggested uh, for her. Or to somebody that maybe doesn't know a lot about knife sharpening. So I kind of pulled out a few of my knife sharpening stuff, and we're going to start here with just a basic stone. This is for a straight razor. It's a very fine stone, and will put a beautiful finish on a good quality blade. Probably do a pretty good finish on a cheap old blade too, but of course, cheap blade just isn't going to hold up. So anyway, and we're going to talk about that. So here we have a nice Arkansas stone, and it works very well. And there's all different types of stones out there, and you need to have a couple of different grits so that you can start taking down that factory edge a little bit with a coarser grit, and then work your way down and do a final pass on a good blade to polish that blade. So anyway, we have a stone. Okay, there's all kinds of different grits. This, like I said, is super fine. Here we have, and they're fairly reasonably priced. And then you can get into your diamonds, which we have here. See if we can get that to focus. Okay, these are a diamond plate, two different grits. Can't remember what I've got here as far as which grit. They're fairly fine. It may be like an 800 and a 1200 very fine diamond plates. And these are a little pricey. You're probably looking at $150 for one of these. And some stones, some very exotic stones that you can buy from the Orient. I can't remember the name of them, but there's beautiful, beautiful sharpening stones. They can be pretty pricey. So there's your regular stone. Arkansas stones are excellent. You have diamond plates, and I have several. You have steels, and here I have this is a Gerber camp steel. This is more of a butcher's steel, and here I have one that I made out of a piece of tool steel for doing pocket knives. Okay, and these are just examples. I think I've got probably a few more around here somewhere. I work on keeping my blades very, very sharp so that when I need them, they're there. It's a tool, and you should always keep your tools in tip-top shape. And I see a lot of people abusing some good knives out there for the sake of a video, just beating the heck out of some of these fairly expensive knives that you probably really don't want to just beat the heck out of, just for the sake of I know how to baton a piece of wood that's an inch in diameter. You don't need to baton wood that size. you can do some feather sticks and that sort of thing, and they'd be much bigger than a couple inches. You need a hatchet or an axe. So anyway, what I have here is something that I've had for a while, and I think it's a very good product. Moderately priced at around $30. You have the Work Sharp Field Sharpening System. Okay, it has 2 diamond plates, 1 coarse and 1 fairly fine. I can't remember the grit on these, but they work wonderfully. It has a ceramic here that will help you polish that blade and get it to a more of a razor edge. It has a small one up here for doing smaller stuff. And also this turns, has a little turnstile thing on there. So if you want to do like fish hooks and that sort of thing, it has a groove there. I don't know, I've never had to sharpen a fish hook in my life, but they have them out there. They just gotta have something for your fish hooks. And then they have a coarser, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see that, but what you can see is on both sides here it has these guides, and that is a 20-degree guide. You lay your knife in there, and then you stroke that across the diamond plate. Take your time, and that would be the coarse. If you have a new knife and you want to get rid of that factory edge, because that's factory, they just go bump 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 on a belt, and it is fairly a fine belt, but it's they've got their angles correct and all that, and they do come in fairly sharp. I'll use my EDC, my everyday carry, for those of you who don't know what that means, just as a demonstration. So you would take this. If you've already got a fairly decent edge on it, you may have dropped it or abused it a little bit and really need to rework it, you will lay the blade here and maintain that angle and take it across the diamond many times, and then you can switch it up, and once again hold that up there so you can see it. It has guides right here and here, so it's pretty, it's almost foolproof. I'm not going to say it's completely foolproof, because there's people out there that would probably just go bam 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 bam. Oh, look at my knife now, it's dull. Send this thing back and sue the company. It doesn't work. There's people out there. So anyway, and I just remembered that the small one here is for doing the serrated edge of your knife, because that is the diameter, so that it will set right in the little groove there, and you just sharpen your serrated areas. So anyway, and then last but not least, it has a nice piece of leather for stropping your blade. So this is really a full sharpening system. It's fantastic. Just, hey, around the house, in your kit, at work, wherever you think you may need something like this. A tackle box, but we all know it belongs in our bug out bags. So anyway, this is the Work Sharp Field Sharpener, and I use this on with my blades quite often. It's just a good product. Now also, this, not only do your blades require a little bit of care, so does this. Now these diamond plates are held in. Well, if I can get it out of there now. Where's it at? Right there. Okay. They're held in by a magnet. So when you're done sharpening, you take your diamond blank and, let's see, it doesn't say the course. There are some instructions on the inside of the diamond plates. At least there is on this one. That tells you what's what. So that's kind of nice. I forgot that was there. But when you're done sharpening your knife or an axe, because I mean this will sharpen an axe also in a pinch. You take just a little bit of soap and water and just use your fingertips like this, and that will loosen up any of the debris that has cut off of the edge of your blade to sharpen it. And it will loosen all that up, and you rinse that and let it dry, and then you just put it back onto this. It pops right in there, and you're good to go for another time. And let me see if this other, the coarser one, yeah, it just says coarse on it. And it says that, if you have a pacemaker, that there are magnets in this product, and be careful. And there is a little sharpening guide in here also. I forgot that was there myself. It's been a while since I pulled these plates off. So it's a nice little system that they've come up with, and once again, I use this quite often. And has your diamonds, coarse, fine, ceramic, coarse and fine, and a leather strop all in one system. So if you're looking, and it has all your angle plates on there, so use all your angle plates, top and bottom, and on the ceramic. And this is just a nice little kit, a real nice piece of kit. And would I buy another one of these? I most certainly would. Something, if something were to happen to this, and maybe I let somebody borrow it, and I know they like it more than I do, and they keep it. Would I buy another one of these? Absolutely. So I think I'm gonna just talk about steels real quick, and then we're gonna cut that and say good evening. We're just going to go straight to the butcher steel, and I'll explain how this works and why. In a butcher shop or a chef in a kitchen, they keep their blades razor sharp, and a razor sharp blade will not stay sharp very long, especially when you're cutting a lot of meats or chicken, or maybe you're deboning something, fish or chicken or whatever, or a piece of beef. So what happens is you've got this knife that's got a very nice edge on it, and as you use it, it tends to want to bend that very fine edge over like that. Okay. So what you do periodically when you're in the kitchen, if you watch any serious like chef type shows, then they're over here dicing this up and cutting this and what have you, and then they grab their steel and okay, and then they go back to cutting and stuff, and then they pick up their steel again, and then we did this and blah blah blah. going to throw in some oregano and some onion and blah, blah, blah. And what they're doing, and it takes a little bit of practice, and I've used this steel for just years and years and years. You will pick up that automatic angle, and it just takes a little bit of practice to straighten that edge back to a razor edge. Just takes a few strokes on a steel. What I'm doing here is I've got an angle, and then I kick my wrist back the other way, and you come down on the steel in this fashion. So down like this, flip your wrist, down, down, and that will straighten that edge out. So if you're doing a lot of stuff in the kitchen and you want to keep your stuff really sharp, and if you can find an old steel, some of the old ones were the best. So pick up an old butcher steel like this, just that's been through the mill, fairly good shape. You just got to look at them a little bit. Sometimes they have little ridges on them, but you don't want anything with big deep ridges on it, because the steel is much harder than your blade. So you really want a fairly smooth steel that will not remove metal, but simply straighten the edge properly. So there you have it. I'm just going to cut it right here, and no pun intended. Very important to keep your knives and your cutting implements, whether it be, and that's what it was. She was asking me about sharpening of a machete. I don't have that one stone here with me. Real quickly, they make a stone that is fairly long, and some of them have a wooden handle on it, and they're actually made for a sickle, the Grim Reaper type sickle, and you would touch that blade up. I remember doing it when I was a kid with my father, and then you'd go back to cutting some stuff in a ditch. I'm old. And you would want to take a stone and run that this way across your machete and sharpen it in that fashion. So that's way too long tonight. Hope you guys got a little bit of something out of this, or if you have any questions, please just send me a question, and we'll do a little Q&A some night. Sven here from Common Sense Survival. I'm going to say good night. God bless. God bless Donald Trump and all of you patriots out there, and all of our veterans that served our country with diligence and respect. And I pray that some respect comes back to our country. Thank you, and good night.